Hey guys, it's Sasha, and in today's video, I'd like to show you how I edited this image. I took this image in the Dallas downtown area. I was working with the amazing model Gabby. I will leave the link of her Instagram page in the description box. Let me show you the before and after. So this is before, this is after. Before and after. I was going for more cinematic look. They use a lot of green or blue colors in their editing, and I also wanted a goldish skin tone color, so this is what I got. If you guys are interested in how I edited this picture, then keep on watching. I always start my editing in Camera Raw, and first thing I do, I go to the camera calibration and I change it to the camera standard. After that, I go to the basic and I see what I need to change in the image to make my job easier to edit it in the Photoshop. Over here, you can see that our image is overexposed, so we have to bring our highlights down like that, and I want to bring up some whites to the point where we don't lose any information over here. After that, we need to bring our shadows just a tiny bit, and I'd like to tone down my image just slightly, just like that. Let's see before and after. Okay, and let's open our image in the Photoshop. To start working on my image, I need to create a copy of my background layer. Command J and we have a new layer. On this layer, I'll be working on my model's skin imperfections. Let's zoom in and see what we will have to clean up. So as you see, my model, she doesn't have a lot of skin imperfections, but we still have to make sure that our skin is clean and even. To work on the skin imperfections, I like to use two different tools. It's a healing brush or it's a patch tool. You can also choose clone stamp tool. It works well, but I personally prefer to work with those two. So let's start working on our skin. Let's zoom in a little bit more. To work with healing brush, all you need to do, just press Alt and pick the area where you would like to copy your skin texture and draw it over the skin imperfections. Just like that. And to make this video short, I will speed up the process. So after we finish retouching our skin, let's create a new copy of our layer, Command J, and we'll be working with dodge and burn technique on her skin. Let's go ahead and create a new layer, new empty layer, press Option and new layer, choose blending mode overlay and 50% neutral color gray, and press OK. On this layer, we'll be working with all the blemishes by using dodge and burn technique. Let's choose our brush. Let's bring down our opacity to approximately 4%, and let's make our brush smaller, and we'll be working on these kind of parts on her skin, all the blemishes and stuff that we don't like on her skin. Okay, let's get started, and again, I will speed up this process so my video won't be that long.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number.
So after I finish working with my dodge and burn technique, I'll go ahead and use frequency separation to smooth out all the harsh lines on her face to make her skin look even better. To do that, I'll need to merge these two layers. Command E and it will merge these two layers. I'll make sure that I have a backup, so I'll create a new copy of the previous layer. I do have an action for my frequency separation. I'll just use that. And if you guys are interested how to make an action for the frequency separation, leave a comment down below in the comment section and I'll make sure that I'll create a new video for you guys. Okay, so let's choose our radius. I think around 10, 12, it will be just enough. Let's hit OK. And I like to make a copy of my low frequency layer, so I'll have a backup for that. After that, let's pick our mixer brush tool, and here wet should be 100%, load should be 20%, mix 20, and flow should be 30%. Make sure that there is no mark on the sample all layers. And let's pick a proper radius and even out all these harsh lines. Make sure guys that you don't go with your brush over the lines like the nose lines, lip lines, eye lines, eyebrows lines, because that will just destroy your image, and if you don't have a backup layer you'll have to go and do all over again. Okay, I think that looks really nice. Let's see what we did with our frequency separation technique before and after. Before and after. Okay, after we've done working with our skin and with our face, let's do some colors and let's create a really moody picture, almost like a film look. So to do that, let's go ahead and use a selective color over here, and let's go ahead, pick reds, and we will bring down our cyan to the 20, our magenta will go down to 20, let's stop at 23, like that. Our yellow should go down to 11, 12, let's stop at 12, okay, and our blacks should go up to the 15. Okay, as you can see, we've changed our model's face, the color of her face. It's more yellowish, almost like a goldish look, but we won't stop at this. So our next layer, it will be again selective color, and there we will go to the cyan, and with that we will be working with our background. So in cyan we will bring up to the 61, 60, 61, maybe even 65, like that. And our magenta will go down to the 41. I already know my numbers because I've saved my file with all my editings, so I know what numbers should I make. And our yellow will go up to the 81, and I will bring up my blacks to the 15. Okay, let's look what we've done. As you can see, we've changed our background's colors just a tiny bit. After that, we will go ahead and create color fill layer. Okay, and here we will have to find a right color for our image. I'll go ahead and use this kind of color. Okay, and we will change our blending mode to the color burn over here, and we'll lower our opacity to 9%, just like that. So as you can see, it's already looking different and more interesting, more like a film look. After that, we'll need to create another solid color layer and pick a same color or close to the one that we used in a previous layer, and we will change our blending mode to the pin light. Okay, and bring opacity to the 9%, just like that. As you can see, these two layers created a nice greenish look, almost like a film look, and her skin looks golden. I really like that, but I don't really like that it's too yellowish. So let's go ahead and use hue saturation. Let's go to reds and bring down our saturation to -11, like that. Let's keep it on -12. Okay, and next I want to add some brown color to this image. Let's use solid color again and find a nice brown color for this image. I think this one will work. Maybe not, maybe darker. I think this one will look good. Okay, and let's change it to the soft light and bring down our opacity to 7. Okay, I like that. Now, what I do next, I will use another dodge and burn layer to work with our shadows and highlights. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another dodge and burn layer. Press Alt, Option, create new layer, change your blending mode to the overlay, and fill it with a 50% gray. Okay, And by using our brush, let's bring down our opacity to 4% and let's start working on her face. So with a white brush we are working on the highlights, and with a black brush we are working on the shadows. Let's start from her eyes. Let's bring more highlights to her eyelids in the middle, so that will create a nice illusion. Now let's switch to the black brush and bring more shadows to these areas, so that will create a 3D effect on her eyes. Okay, let's go a bit over her eyeshadows, just like that. Now let's work on her eyebrows. Don't make them too dark, but darken them to the point when they stand out. Okay, that looks good. Now we need to bring back our highlight underneath the eyebrow, like that. Now let's go and add some shadows under her eyes. Okay, that looks good. Now let's go to her cheekbones. Let's switch to the white brush and let's brighten these areas. Now go back to the black brush and let's darken her cheeks to make them stand out. After that, let's go to her lips and work on the shadow here, under her lip, like that. Let's darken the corners and brighten the middle of her bottom lip. I like to work with these highlights. It makes lips stand out and look more interesting. That was too much. Let's make our brush bigger and let's go just a tiny bit here. Okay, now let's go down to our chin. Let's highlight it. After our chin, let's go back to her jawline and her neck. Let's switch to the black brush and go over her jawline. Okay, that looks good. Now let's work with these shadows. Let's add some highlights in these areas. That was too much. Okay, now let's add some shadows to the side of her neck, and I think that looks good. Now let's go back to her forehead. I don't really like this shadow over here. Now let's add more light to her forehead, like that. And the last step, let's add some shadows on the sides of her nose. And let's add more highlights in the center of her nose. Okay, I think that looks good. One more thing I like to do to cut the cheekbones, just add some white in these areas to make the cheekbones stand out. Okay, let's look before and after. So this is before, this is after, before and after. This is a bit too much, so let's lower down our opacity to 70%, just like that. Okay, this looks way better. Now let's create a curve layer and let's add some light to this image, just a bit. Okay, I think that's enough, and let's add some contrast over here. Okay, let's see what we've done, and let's lower our opacity to 70%. Okay, that looks way better. Okay, my last step, I will add some noise to this image. Let's create a new 50% gray layer, Alt, new layer, blending mode overlay, 50% gray, okay. Then go to the filter, noise, add noise, and 10 is working for me well for this image. Let's hit OK. After that, let's go to the filter, blur, and we need to use Gaussian blur and blur it with 1 pixel radius. Okay, that looks good. Now one more thing, let's go back to our dodge and burn and brighten up her eyes just a tiny bit. Opacity 14, white brush, and let's brighten her eyes a bit more. Okay, that looks good. One more thing, I don't really like this spot over here, it's distracting my eye, so let's select all editing layers and press Command, Option, Shift, E. That will create a layer that will contain all the previous layers that we were working on. Let's copy that layer, and with a clone stamp tool, let's just fix this here really quick. Okay, that looks good. Let's zoom out and see what we've done. Let's select all our layers and put them in a folder, and let's see what we've done with this image. So that's before, and this is after. Before and after. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a like, and leave a comment down below in the comment section. What video would you like me to do next? What kind of editing? Let me know and I'll try to make it for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.